You are welcome to yet another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show, where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. R. Kelly, who doubles as the Grammy-winning R&B legend, has for long been at the center of one of the most high-profile legal battles in recent memory. Convicted on multiple counts of serious crimes, his case has sparked widespread debate not only about the allegations themselves, but also about the fairness of the trial process. Today we're diving into one of the most contentious aspects of his trial, the fact that R. Kelly was denied a fair and impartial jury, which is a cornerstone of any democratic justice system. Here is the big question. Were there biases at play? And if so, what does it mean for the integrity of his conviction? In the United States, the Sixth Amendment guarantees every defendant the right to a fair trial, and of course this comes along with an impartial jury. Without an impartial jury, there cannot be a fair trial. This means jurors must approach a case with an open mind that is free from preconceived notions about the defendant's guilt or innocence. For R. Kelly, this fundamental principle has been called into question. During jury selection, several potential jurors reportedly admitted to holding preconceived opinions about Mr. Kelly due to the extensive media coverage surrounding his case. While it's almost impossible for high-profile cases to escape public scrutiny, the court has a duty to ensure that jurors can set aside personal biases and evaluate the evidence presented during the trial. So once some of them made this confession, they were supposed to be immediately eliminated from the jury panel in order to guarantee a fair trial for defendant R. Kelly. This was never done. Sadly to mention, the government is still to blame for all this media frenzy, as they encouraged the airing of surviving R. Kelly pre-trial, and made sure to arrest and charge even the few good Samaritans who attempted to stop this interference with the then pending trial. Jury selection, also known as voir dire, is a critical phase of any trial. It's the process where attorneys for both the prosecution and defense question potential jurors to assess their ability to be impartial. In R. Kelly's case, this process was particularly challenging. By the time his trial began, decades of allegations and media narratives had painted a damning picture of the singer. Documentaries like Surviving R. Kelly, which were strongly encouraged by the same government accusing him, had reached millions of viewers, making it difficult to find jurors who weren't already familiar with the allegations. During the selection, at least 4 seated jurors reportedly admitted to having preconceived notions about Kelly's guilt. Despite this, however, they were allowed to remain on the jury panel after reluctantly claiming they could set aside their biases and consider only the evidence presented in court. When we got to the trial, however, the same jurors did exactly the opposite, and this is evident in the all-guilty verdict, even though there was no proof of illegal or criminal enterprise.
R. Kelly, and that really presents a challenge for us to try to get fair and impartial jurors.
Even the Mann Act and forced labor charges until today remain highly questionable. Let's take a step back and consider the implications of jurors who enter a trial with preconceived opinions. Studies have shown that preconceived beliefs can subconsciously influence how people interpret evidence, even when they believe they are being objective. For a defendant like R. Kelly, who faced both legal and public condemnation long before his trial began, the presence of biased jurors raises serious questions. If a juror has already decided the defendant is guilty, can they truly evaluate the evidence fairly? A big no. Case critics in fact argue that allowing jurors who admitted to prejudgment undermines the legitimacy of the trial. And for this reason, the trial decisions should have been overturned during appeal, something even the appeal judge were reluctant to do. However, we maintain that this should have been grounds for case dismissal in the first place, or an overturn of the consequential convictions during the appeal process, as it directly infringes on his right to a fair due process. Another significant factor in this discussion is the role of the media in influencing decision and botching the entire trial process. From explosive headlines to viral social media posts, Kelly's case was tried in the court of public opinion long before it reached a courtroom. The documentary Surviving R. Kelly, which was regrettably largely supported by the government, played a pivotal role in turning the New York hearing into a kangaroo court, creating a narrative that many jurors were exposed to, consequently corrupting their minds to think R. Kelly was guilty even before the trial process commenced. The documentary gave an out-of-control platform to R. Kelly's accusers to tell all possible lies about him without having to take oath, and this complicated the task of finding impartial jurors. In fact, high-profile cases like R. Kelly's usually force us to grapple with a difficult question: how do we balance the public's right to know with the defendant's right to a fair trial? R. Kelly's legal team in fact appealed, citing concerns about jury bias among other issues. They argued that the presence of jurors who admitted to prejudging the case violated Kelly's constitutional rights. But again, another yet prejudiced panel of appeal judges want us to believe that overturning a conviction based on jury bias is notoriously difficult. Appellate courts are required by law to overturn such cases where the trial judge's decisions during voir dire are found lacking, especially where there's clear evidence of misconduct or an inability to render a fair verdict, as we saw with the New York trial. For Kelly's supporters, the appeal process represented a critical opportunity to address what they saw as flaws in the New York trial, but we are yet to hear what the decision is. The decision from this hearing has been abnormally delayed, but we hung on and wait. As we wait for the New York appeal decision, we need to remember that the R. Kelly case isn't just about one man, as whatever is done to him can also be done to you and I. It's in fact a lens through which we can examine the justice system itself. It raises questions about the challenges of ensuring fairness in high-profile cases, where public opinion and media coverage can overshadow the facts. At its core, the justice system is built on the principle that every defendant, no matter how famous or infamous, is entitled to a fair trial. So whether or not you believe R. Kelly is guilty or innocent, the claims of jury bias in his case remind us of the importance of safeguarding this principle. As we continue to wait for the New York Appeal Court's decision, one thing is clear: the R. Kelly case will remain a focal point in discussions about justice, celebrity, and the role of public opinion in the courtroom. What do you think about the jury bias in R. Kelly's trial? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you wish to take part in a live interview on this channel discussing any of these topics, let us know by emailing us on sashahnnewsroom@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say? To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.